Welcome back, Weezy Weeboos, to Channel Between Doge, where today I'm doing a bit of a unexpected video. I don't usually make content on games before introducing them, and right here I'm in the post-game of Cassette Beasts, so this is a bit of an unconventional place to start. But this video mostly exists to be a guide. That being said, people like short guides, and this is going to be quite long and in detail. So, for that reason, it's time-stamped. So if you're here, you've already got lots of information on how this game works, you've already got lots of information on what bootlegs are, and how to get more of them, and you just want to know how to get this specific one, and you don't care about anything else, you can skip right to the timestamp. But considering that some of the people watching this video may not have even played Cassette Beasts, but are just kind of interested in what I've been doing when I've been playing this game, and maybe don't care if they get spoiled on a secret achievement in the post-game, then sure, here you go, here's some entertainment. Not to mention, if you're in the middle, and you know a little bit about Cassette Beasts, but you maybe don't know loads of details about hunting bootlegs, there is going to be a lot of incidental knowledge on how to better hunt bootlegs in this video, alongside the main purpose of explaining how to get the most valuable bootleg in the entire game. So, with that said, this right here is the key to it all, but we're going to have to go on quite a long journey to explain how. So again, right now I'm in the post-game, and that means that some things are going to be different. For example, if I pause the game right now on the map, you'll see a whole bunch of things that you won't see if you're at the start of the game. For example, the little like red-eyed things are the other rogue fusions across the map, and usually you don't get any information on where they are, but once you reach the post-game, you get a radar that reveals the position of mid-bosses hiding in the map, and... oh, that's an interesting bug. I've actually never seen this before. Huh. Okay, that actually just weirded me out so much that it kind of threw me off. Okay, getting back on topic. If I pause this game right now and I open up the bestiary, you'll see that at least I haven't got the DLC yet, so we're ignoring the DLC here. I have recorded every single monster in the game that can possibly be recorded, and I have seen every single monster in the game. That's according to the bestiary at least. However, the bestiary lies, because there is one secret monster in this game that doesn't count towards completing the bestiary, which is probably because they made the way that you have to unlock this monster the most annoying, tedious shit in existence. However, if you want to 100% this game truly, and get every monster, and get all the Esteem achievements, then you're going to have to get it. And oh boy, is that going to drive you up the wall. Unless you go in with a plan. And even still, it's going to take a bit even with a plan, but certainly a lot less time than it would otherwise. So if you're watching this video, you probably already know, but the extra secret monster is, if you look at the bestiary, sorry, I'm just going to be very thorough here for those of you who aren't super familiar with the game, the Traffikrab here is one of the most, iconic monsters in the game, and there is a single NPC in the entire game you'll meet that is not a human or an archangel, and that is Magikrab. And they seem to be the only cassette beast in the world that is actually intelligent and can talk with you and such, and he acts as an NPC that mans the train stations. And so you might have guessed that he is the secret cassette beast, but you might have thought at first that the way you get him might be some complicated thing to do with talking with him or his dialogue options or whatever, but no, the way you get him is actually really simple. It's just the doing it part that's stupidly difficult. All you have to do is, because Magikrab is a magic Traffikrab, all you have to do is get a Traffikrab that isn't plastic type. It needs to be Astral type instead, and then evolve it. And instead of evolving it into a Weaverlight or a Lobstacle, it will evolve into a Magikrab. Okay, that sounds pretty simple, but how do we get an Astral type Traffikrab? That question is what opens the can of worms. So, this game has these things called bootlegs. Bootlegs are this game's version of shinies, only I will say in this game I think they're a lot cooler than shinies in Pokemon, in that essentially, while they are the insanely rare versions of monsters that can be found randomly on the overworld, they also have gameplay differences. They still have the same movesets technically, but their element changes to be one that doesn't match the normal monster, and it can be any element in the game other than the usual element, and as well as that, they also learn rarer versions of the same moves with extra bonuses tacked on that the usual move doesn't have. So bootlegs are extremely valuable, and obviously you want to get as many as you can. Now, there are plenty of methods to find more bootlegs faster. Obviously you'd think the main method to find bootlegs would just be to run around the world looking for them, but honestly that's actually kind of the worst possible way to look for bootlegs, considering the chances of spotting one on the overworld is literally only 1 in 1,000 per enemy that's spawned. Speaking for myself personally, I'm 55 hours-ish into this game, and I have currently only found 3 bootlegs on the overworld. And I've found plenty more through other means, so yeah, I do not recommend just running around the overworld. Which brings me to the much more effective option for collecting bootlegs if you haven't completed the game yet. That being, to go around chasing rogue fusions. It's that simple. The reason why being, at first this was just a gut feeling, but I did decide to look some of this stuff up to confirm it before I made this video. I had a feeling that my chances of finding bootlegs were much better when I checked rogue fusions, because so many of them that I found were inside rogue fusions. And it turns out I was correct. When checking the wiki, according to the wiki, while the chance of finding a bootleg on the overworld is 1 in 1,000 per enemy that spawns, for rogue fusions, for every rogue fusion you interact with, the chance of it having a bootleg inside it is only 2%, which sure isn't high, but is a lot higher than 0.1%. Not to mention, you don't even have to fight these things if you don't want to, and you do get told if it's a bootleg or not before you start the fight. The little purple tab there will be red instead of purple if it's a bootleg. So, you don't even have to fight them if it's not a bootleg. You can just walk up to them, check if it's red, and if it's red, fight it, and if it's not, not. So yeah, you can just go around farming rogue fusions. However, even that is not super efficient. So what's the most efficient method to farm bootlegs? Well, half of it is just to continue doing rogue fusions, but you need to combine that with a new item you'll unlock in the post-game if you want to do it the most efficient way possible. That being, quite possibly the single most valuable item in the game, the Ritual Candle. You can buy this in Wilma's shop for 50 infused material once you unlock it, and it does just what it says on the screen right now. You burn the candle, and after burning it, you go into your party or your tape storage, and you recycle a tape to sacrifice it to the ritual. Once you've sacrificed a tape to the ritual, you will lose whichever cassette beast that you sacrificed, and you'll never get it back. But in return, the next time you go to fight a rogue fusion, it will turn one half of the rogue fusion into a bootleg, and the bootleg type you get depends on what you sacrificed. Now that sounds really good. And in terms of just getting bootlegs generally, it is really good. It does take ages to farm ritual candles. It takes a couple hours to get basically every new ritual candle, but at the end of the day, that's at least a new bootleg every couple hours of farming, whereas before, you could grind for hours and not even be guaranteed a single one. However, when it comes to getting the specific bootlegs you want, that's where things get rougher. So there are rules to the kind of things that the ritual candle can summon. If you decide to sacrifice a Traffikrab to the ritual candle, there is a 50-50 shot it will do what you want it to and give you a bootleg Traffikrab. However, there's a 50% chance that instead of doing that, it will instead give you a completely different monster bootleg, but of Traffikrab's element, plastic. So already there's a 50% chance it copies the element rather than the species, which is not what we want here. And then even if we roll the 50% chance that we get a Traffikrab bootleg like we want, even then we'd be stuck with a Traffikrab bootleg that could be of any one of the 13 other elements in the game aside from plastic. And if it's not specifically Astral, then we don't want it. And again, there's no way to narrow this down. The best thing you can do with the ritual candle, at least through normal means, is to burn it and sacrifice a Traffikrab to only get a 1 in 26 chance of getting what we want. Now, a 1 in 26 is certainly a lot better than a 1 in 1,000, but even still, it's a 1 in 26 chance we need to grind for hours to get a single roll at. You are going to be here forever if you just spam ritual candles on Traffikrabs until you get one. So that doesn't seem like a super enticing option. One of the main reasons I wanted to make this video is I genuinely thought that someone probably would have made a guide already. With all the rest of these achievements, at first I was doing this all blind, then when I got to the post-game, there were a couple ones that were like really grindy or really cryptic, so I looked up how to do it online, but I didn't really look up a guide of how to farm it. I just kind of was like, okay, how do I do this thing? I genuinely don't even know the first step. Oh, I do that. Okay, I'll go do that. But this one was what really broke me. I'm like, I am not farming this game for the rest of my adult life just to get a single Astral Traffikrab. I'm going to figure out, surely someone out there's figured out a better way to do this. And unfortunately, I didn't find much. The best I found was a video just telling me to run in circles around this area of the map where these two Traffikrabs always spawn, and wait until one of them becomes a bootleg, and then pray it's Astral. And basically just be prepared to run around here for hours. At the very least, both of these are always Traffikrabs and they always spawn next to each other, and you can just enter a fight with them and instantly run away, which makes it not take literally forever, but man, you're still in for hours of doing nothing but running in circles just to get a single bootleg, which then is probably going to be of the wrong element anyway, and then you're going to have to start again an average of like 6.5 times before you get it, if you have average luck. That still sounds absolutely hellish. I'm not doing that. And funnily enough, a big reason I want to make this video is I won't lie, I did not figure out what I'm about to tell you myself. Some random guy in the comments of that video, it wasn't even top comment, actually gave me the answer. And I genuinely couldn't find anyone else giving advice like this. So, thank you, random guy in the comments section. You kind of saved my life here, because I would have lost it to this fucking game grinding a Magikrab if I didn't see your comment. I'm gonna hopefully remember to screenshot it and put it on screen just to give credit to the guy. I don't think he's got a YouTube channel or anything, but yeah, the key is this right here, the Traffikrab. So, let me explain. Essentially, when you get to the post-game, in the bestiary, there is a special monster in here. Funnily enough, despite being the last monster you can possibly see in the game, it's not in slot 128, it's in slot 120, but Anathema here is the latest possible monster in the game you can find. That is because they only exist in the power station, a secret area of the map you will only unlock in the post-game, once you reach Ranger rank 3, by doing quests on the quest notice board in the middle of town. So, essentially, once you unlock this monster, you will start seeing these things called unstable fusions all over the map. And these are basically just normal rogue fusions, except Anathema is half of it. However, because these unstable fusions are considered a different type of fusion, sometimes when you go to get quests from the quest board in the middle of town, the quest won't be the normal quest to go and defeat any rogue fusion you want just a certain number of times, like this one to get 4 rogue fusions. It will instead be, here is a specific unstable fusion, I want you to kill this unstable fusion. And the great part about this is if this unstable fusion is a Traffikrab, you've hit the jackpot. Because, since this is tied to a quest, this rogue fusion cannot be re-rolled. If you go to sleep, it won't go away. It won't move, it won't change, it will always be a Traffikrab until you do it. The other thing that's great is, at least according to this comment, and so far as I've tested, I don't know why, but it is impossible for the Anathema half of this to become a bootleg. Now, that's already really good. That would mean that you would have a 50-50 shot of burning a ritual candle, sacrificing a astral monster, and then turning the Traffikrab into an astral type. However, if I went and sacrificed my starter grade right now, in theory there should also be a 50% chance that instead this just becomes a fusion between a starter grade and a Traffikrab, where the starter grade is a bootleg of a different element than astral. However, for whatever reason, that seems to not be possible with these kind of fusions. I don't know what it is, but I'm not complaining. For whatever reason, every single time you sacrifice a tape to the ritual, it always seems to turn the Traffikrab half of this into an astral type. Meaning, in theory, if you can find this Traffikrab as a quest in your world that won't disappear, you literally have a 100% chance of getting exactly what you want, so long as you sacrifice an astral monster to the ritual when you do the ritual candle thing. Now, that's already a great solution to your problem, but just in case you're having trouble getting a Traffikrab, because it will take a while before you get one of these, you know, there's so many things this could be combined with, and while a Traffikrab is one of the most common enemies in the game, there's still 127 other enemies it could combine with, so like, you know, you could be here a while. So, of course, this might still, you know, be tedious. So you might want some other options. And there is one, and funnily enough, I already attempted to get an Astral Traffikrab bootleg before the current recording you're watching now, and I might have failed in an extremely embarrassing fashion. However, I did everything correctly, I just died. So basically, the other thing you can do is sometimes, I don't think I have an example on the island ready, but sometimes you will see rogue fusions, and these aren't like ones you have to unlock, this is just from the start of the game this will happen, that instead of it just being you fight the rogue fusion, it's a swarm. So you'll fight loads of little guys before the rogue fusion that will usually be of a type that matches the rogue fusion. So why am I bringing this up? If you get a Traffikrab swarm, then I believe the rogue fusion is always a Traffikrab with a Traffikrab, meaning no matter which half of the fusion you get, you'll always turn a Traffikrab into an astral type. And as it turns out, those ones also don't seem to get re-rolled. I wouldn't push your luck, because I haven't been able to test this so much because it requires a lot of RNG to go the right way to even be able to test it in the first place, but I'm pretty sure going to sleep doesn't re-roll them or make them disappear like it does with, you know, the normal rogue fusions. I wouldn't count on that. If you do see a Traffikrab, like, swarm rogue fusion, and you need it, and like you haven't got a Traffikrab Anathema fusion to work off of, and you really don't want to lose it, I would recommend just play it safe and don't even sleep. Just because as long as you don't sleep, it shouldn't go away. If you need to heal your monsters, just remember to use rewinds and respawns on them. Do not use a resting spot, because I don't think you'll lose it, but if you do, you might be screwed. But either way, yeah, make sure you get that ritual done and grab your Astral Traffikrab before you try resting. Anyway, with all that said, those are your two options. And as you can see right now, we got the Traffikrab and Anathema Fusion ready. So yeah, I am now going to get the ritual candle out, burn it, go into my storage, get the least valuable astral monster that I have, recycle it, sacrifice it to the ritual. There we go. So before I get into this, some important things to note, because I don't want you to make the same mistake I did, because I just mentioned earlier that I might have died the first time I did this correctly, and lost my chance. And I was actually about to tear my eyes out when that happened. I was so furious. So, first things first, you can disable autosaving in this game. I didn't remember that. And so, the game immediately autosaved the second I died, and I lost the ability to go back in time. Meaning that I had lost an entire ritual candle, one of the most valuable items in the game, and not even caught the bootleg that I wanted. As well as that, if you want to really make sure that nothing goes wrong when you go to capture this bootleg, there's two things you can do. First of all, there is actually a slider that can change the smartness of the AI in this game, and second of all, there's a slider that can change level scaling. Right now, I just have it on these settings because I'm grinding for other achievements, like maxing out and getting 5 stars on every tape in the game, so I want to get as much XP as possible, as easily as possible. I only have it at this very specific part, because at this area I can one-shot most wild encounters while still getting loads of XP. But yeah, it's not super important for you, I guess, because it depends on your level, it'll change. Anyway, so, for most of the game I didn't touch this. Like, I beat the whole main game without touching this and just leaving it in the normal settings. Once I got to the post-game, I thought, okay, I'm getting over-leveled now, this is kind of getting too easy. So I cranked everything up to maximum difficulty, and I didn't have much trouble until, ironically, of course, the first time I die, ever since I turned things to max difficulty, was the moment I need to catch this extremely valuable bootleg. Because even though it's just a Traffikrab, one of the weakest, earliest game enemies in the game, the elements of the Traffikrab are Astral and Plastic. Obviously Plastic because that's the normal element, and Astral because that's the bootleg. And as it turns out, those are kind of the two elements that my main, most powerful monsters are the weakest to. And I didn't know just how much I was going to get my ass kicked on this harder difficulty by having, a type disadvantage. I managed to get through so much of this game with max difficulty not being an issue that I kind of didn't expect just a fucking Traffikrab to mop the floor with me, but it did. And the worst part is, the main reason I couldn't record it is because even though I didn't even get an evasion debuff on me, and I used a move with a normal chance to hit, which is extremely high chance by default, I somehow missed 2 attacks in a row on the bootleg Traffikrab, and that actually caused me to die. So yeah, I was fuming. So, first of all, make sure to set your AI smartness to the lowest level possible, and second of all, turn off level scaling. Make this as easy for yourself as possible, do not fuck around, you get one shot at this. Well, I say that. Obviously, you get 2 shots if you remember to disable autosaving and save before you burn your ritual candle, which I have done, don't worry. I already had a save set up, so if I somehow fuck this up, I can just go back to before I burn my ritual candle, before I start even recording this video, and we can give it a second roll. So, with all that said, I think we're all prepared now. Let me just double check. Actually, do I have... Yeah, I want to make sure I've got as many empty move slots as possible, because I get bonus damage on this move for the amount of empty move slots. There we go. I think I'm ready. And this should be Astral type. There we go. And I will say, I have run some checks before recording this. I have loaded this save file and done the same thing 3 times over now. And all 3 times, it's always been an Astral Traffikrab. So I'm pretty convinced at this point that that commenter was right. I think this works every time. I'm actually kind of surprised it doesn't have a chance to turn the Traffikrab into a starter grade. But it seems like it never seems to happen. Unless I just did it 3 times in a row, and all 3 times it just so happened to not pick the... It's possible, but, I can only keep checking so many times. Now is just the normal fighting it, which, to be fair, might be really annoying, because I still hate dealing with Astral types. They have so many type advantages, and I'm not gonna lie, I know I probably shouldn't be using Decibel here, considering, air gets screwed by at Cosmic, but it's just... Sonic Boom's so broken, man. I have to use it. Oh yeah, I forgot, they use that multi-smack. I probably shouldn't use Firewall, because they can just break right through. I knew they could break it instantly because they got the type advantage, but I didn't think I forgot that they use multi-smack for like the multi-hit, so it's not really worth. The self-destruct isn't going to kill me here yet. Oh yeah, I forgot, I turned off level scaling. It definitely shouldn't kill me. Better not kill the Traffikrab though. I don't think it would, but it might. I suppose it's advantage against fire, so... yeah. Still took a lot, honestly, but yeah. And that's why we have Neutralize. Okay, so now all I should need to do is I queue up Sonic Boom with this, and I get my Ethereal Tape ready. You can also, if you want to be extra prepared, once you get to the post-game, you can also spend 50 infused material on getting a cassette tape that will literally never fail recording, no matter what happens, and it can be used on anything. The only reason I'm not recommending that personally is because 50 infused material is a lot. You could just buy another ritual candle with that. And in theory, so long as you do this correctly, you should be guaranteed to get this anyway. You know, it just might take a bit. But, I mean, if we get this to 1 health, boom, like that. And they can't die while they're being recorded, by the way. Like, you can see their health bar is just non-existent right now, and it's still not dying. It's because they're being recorded, so we don't have to worry about doing too much damage. 100% chance, we don't need the super optical tape. We can just, boom. Oh, boy! So I've done a lot of preparation and planning for this, but I must admit, this is actually the first time I've actually proceeded onwards, like, and actually seen that pop up. Like, that's why I'm getting excited, because I've been looking for this one little motherfucker for so long, man. It's actually been driving me up the wall. Alright then. Nice. Okay then. So now, if I mean, it's right there, but I'm still going to fast travel, just because I can. If I go for a rest... Thank you, Meredith. Very cool. And let's make some room in my party. I was only holding on to these two guys for the sake of leveling them up. So let me put these in storage for a second. These are just to get 5 stars on tapes that I haven't 5-starred yet. And let's look into my storage and into my bootlegs. Of course, I've already got a bunch of them in here, so it might take a second to find. I also want to put a couple in my favourites that I only recently got. Oh yeah, I got that one in my favourites already. There we go! Traffikrab. Astral Bootleg. That's what we like to see. Okay, so now I'm going to hopefully cut forward to when I 5-star this tape, and we should see the Magikrab evolution. And it's going to be my first time seeing it. Again, I know this is how you do it, but I haven't actually done it myself until now. I just wanted to set up the save file. In fact, I'm kind of nervous. I know there shouldn't be anything to go wrong, but I'm going to try and be careful not to overwrite my save file, just in case something does go wrong. Okay, that's really funny. I literally just left the town, and I got another Traffikrab. Only this time it's like, I mean, it's the other way around, but it's the same fusion right outside. I'm not going to lie, after the first time I put this up, it took like 4 hours to get another shot at this. And then, like, to get 2 shots in a row. Okay, right, not important. Just thought that was funny. Alright then, so I just got my notice board quest done, and I have my Magikrab ready to go. Well, Traffikrab right now, but about to be a Magikrab. Alright then, well, I'll go talk to Iante in a moment, but let me see we've absolutely done this right before I go and save. Let's go to rest, and hopefully we should see this. Here we go. There we go! Oh my god, man. Sorry, just... I was really worried I was gonna be here forever trying to get this thing. Magikrabs were the first monster to be brought to New World in the ancient past. They are almost all extinct now, with one solitary Magikrab now residing on the island as its eternal, diligent station attendant. Recorded 129 of 128, 100.8%. That's what we like to see. And, oh, also my Mascatoid evolved. There we go. Cool. Alright then. And with that, I only have 4 more achievements to get in this game. And 2 of them are going to be really easy. That is just to get an air type and a poison type bootleg, because I haven't got either of those yet. But all that means is I need to get 2 more ritual candles and I'm done. There's the one for getting every single tape in the game to 5 stars to get more information on the monster, which I'm over 2/3 of the way done with, but still working on. And one last achievement, which from what I've read, is to do with what I'm about to unlock now by reaching the highest ranger level. Well, you can go higher, but from what I've read, apparently beyond this point the rewards are all just randomized. But, of course, if there's anything important to say about this, I'll cover it in another video. thank you for watching. Hopefully that was helpful or entertaining if you haven't played this game and haven't planned on playing this game but were just interested in what I've been doing. But with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.